second season of The Nest with head football coach Todd Willert of the East Forsyth Fighting Eagles. And of course, it's presented by East Coast Wings Kernersville. East Coast Wings is located at 800 North Main Street. East Coast Wings of Kernersville is our title sponsor for our entire 2021 East Forsyth football season. This will be a football season that we have never seen before. We would also like to take this time to recognize our other sponsors. In addition to East Coast Wings, they do include Beamer Tire and Auto, Cindy Swaim of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and One Stop Food Store, where you can get all your chicken and taters that you want. And of course, I'm your host, Hot Rod Funderburk, and I'm sitting here virtually with head coach and reigning state champion, head coach Todd Willert. Coach, how are we doing today, my friend?
Hey, man, we're doing good. I never thought this day would get here, but it's going great. I'm just happy that we're out there playing with the guys on the football field.
Good deal. It has been a thing that we have all been waiting on, Coach. And of course, like we said earlier, this is a season that we have never seen before. You know, COVID-19 has caused so much uncertainty, of course, not only in, but also in our have a 2020 high school football season this year. So instead, we're starting the high school football season right now in February of 2021. And I just got some questions on that, Coach. How has this COVID-19 affected you, and how difficult was it to think, you know, that you guys were going to play in the fall, but then all of a sudden it was changed to the winter? You know, what was your mindset, and how did you and your coaching staff prepare for that kind of news?
You know, it is. It's been a crazy thing. I've been coaching for almost 30 years now, and never been through something like this. And I hope I'm never through something like this ever again, to be honest. It's been tough, but I'm very happy with my coaches. I mean, it's kind of day by day. You never know. I'm such an organized guy, and I got things planned out a month ahead of time, 2 months. And not to be able to do that for my coaches, I've struggled a lot with it, but my coaches have been great. The parents are starting to adjust a little bit, you know, because our schedule changes every day. If it's not COVID now, it's the weather. I mean, we got no place to practice because it's raining, it's ice, it snows. So, you know, I mean, it snows a little powdering here. You know, my boys up in Wisconsin, my little crew up there, they give me crap all the time because I show them the little bit of snow on the grass and everything's canceled down here. So it's just been COVID and all the weather and everything. So it's been crazy. But I'm thankful that my assistant coaches have kind of kept me together a little bit.
Oh, Coach, I'm sure you have been anxious and ready to get out there on the field. And like you said, this is not the fall, man. This is the winter time. So not only we have had record rainfall right now, but it's been cold. North Carolina gets some of the weirdest cold weather. And, you know, this is a season we're going to start cold, and then hopefully we're going to end warm. And of course, normally during regular football season, you usually start warm, sometimes hot, and then you end cold. How are you guys starting to adapt, knowing that that is going to happen? How do you get the players prepared and practice and saying, hey, guys, we know it's cold outside. It's going to be cold, but it's going to get better. What do you do to get their mindset right for that temperature change?
I mean, you just kind of do, kind of like you said, it's weird. You go outside and it's some of the days have been pretty warm when you first go out, and then that sun goes down and it gets cold out. And the other night we're out there, and I saw our kids. It was beautiful. It was during our scrimmage, matter of fact, and it was beautiful out. And they're out there in short sleeves, and then all of a sudden it's about 8 o'clock at night, and I got them all around. And we're going to give the little coaches speak. And kids are shivering. I said, boys, you're going to have to learn that it's going to be warm and going to get cold. And so it's just a learning process for all of us. You know, I just think right now everybody's just happy to be out there, so they'll be more than happy to play cold right now.
Definitely. I'm sure they just want to play, because I, along with so many others, have been looking forward to seeing you guys play. And of course, one of the things that I was also looking forward to was seeing you guys come with many of the same players that you had 2 years ago, who was on that first title run where you defended the title 2 years in a row. And of course, that's when you won the back-to-back titles, and you had sophomores on that team. Of course, before COVID-19 hit, I'm sure those sophomores had three-peat on their mind. You know, how hard was that for some of the players who, you know, may have opted out and, you know, may not have an opportunity to get that three-peat in? How hard was it for those guys, as well as hard for you and your coaching staff?
Yeah, it's been emotional. It's been tough. You know, obviously we have the 5 Division I guys that all left early. We've talked individually with all of them and their families, and by the time when they had to make the decision in November and December to enroll early in college, you know, we didn't even know if we were going to get to this point. You know, I think a lot of them, if they knew we were going to play for sure, they probably would have stayed and finished out their high school career. But they had to do what was best for them, and I thought which was best for them. And we're happy that Ty and Lindsay and Crowell and Warren and you know, all those guys are gone. You
Wow.
know, but you know, it's Big Zion's not playing, and we've got some injuries, and then we had some seniors that were going to start for us that just decided to graduate early. They're not even going on to play college. They just said, Coach, you know, we love football. We love what the program's done, but, you know, my family needs a little extra money. So we're going to graduate early and get a job and start. And during these times, I can't fault them for that. So, you know, it's been different. It's been tough. But the great thing is the underclassmen have really stepped up. They realize it's their time to shine as an Eagle. You know, no doubt I was frustrated. Like you said earlier, we had basically the whole team back plus Micah Crowell, you know, from these guys that played as sophomores and juniors, and this was going to be their senior year. But, you know, life throws you some curveballs and you got to swing, and sometimes you miss, but you got to get back up and do it again. And that's what we're going to do, because nobody, I'm going to tell you this, when we play Glen Friday, well, we're playing Thursday, as a matter of fact, they're not going to care that those guys aren't there, you know, so we got to come out and play.
Coach, you're right about that. And, you know, even with the difference in the players, of course, going around the county have been talking and saying things like, oh, East Forsyth is not the same team. And we don't know what to expect from East Forsyth this season. But talk to us a little bit about some of the guys who are going to be coming up and carrying that load this upcoming, I guess, winter football season, we could call it. You know, what do you expect out of some of these guys who are going to be coming up? Maybe some names we haven't heard before, but, you know, you see them in practice. You know what's on their mind. You know what their heart is, their work ethic is. You know what their talent is. Talk to us about some of those guys who are coming up and what we can expect out of them.
Yeah, I mean, our JV team went undefeated last year. So I mean, we got a lot of good young talent coming up. Jalen Rayner is going to be our quarterback. He's going to fill in for Ty. Um, you know, he's a sophomore quarterback, and he's looked great so far. He really is. He's throwing the ball well, understands the offense. He did great on JV last year. We got our running backs, Jamon Smith and Ty Ingram coming back, and both of them played a lot during the playoffs for us. So that's some key guys offensively. And then O-line, we lost Jaden Lindsay, but we got LJ Wisnett back. We got Jacob Fletcher back. So we got a lot of nucleus guys there and some JV guys coming up. We got a new kid, Hartley, back. He's probably going to be, I mean, you'll see him. We'll be playing some right tackle and left guard. I mean, we got him. He's 6'4", 325. So we got some big guys up front. And then defensively, we're led by our team captain, Xavier Bell. He'll be playing some down lineman and linebacker. He played last year. You have Crowell and Timmons, who both played in the secondary and had that huge they caused the fumble and the scoop and score by Timmons in the state playoff game. So we got a lot of experience there. And then we got Andrew Conrad coming back, our kicker, who kicked the winning field goal. So, I mean, we got a lot of guys back, but we're going to have a lot of new faces, but the guys are excited. They really are. They're excited to get going. Matthew Joins will be playing in the secondary. Will Montgomery's another new guy. We got a big tight end and Brandon Davenport. So we got some new faces, some new names. You and Dez are going to have to learn, but hopefully you'll learn them pretty quick because, at East, we expect to win. That's kind of the culture we've built right now, and the next man up scenario, and that's the way we got to go right now. Because once again, Rod, you played when East was successful. Nobody's going to feel sorry for East Forsyth. They want to whip our tail, and we know the Glen Bobcats want to do that Thursday, so we better be ready to go.
Coach, you better believe that everybody's going to be gunning at you guys. You guys are the best. You're the champs. I mean, that's going to make their season if they somehow knock you guys off the hill. So we know everybody's going to be gunning at you, man. And of course, many of the East Forsyth fans, as well as myself, we realize that you have some young guys coming up, like you said. You also have some players who are coming back. So you do have some experience there. But what I think people don't understand, or maybe they're trying to gradually understand, and I hope they get it in their head, that East Forsyth is definitely a true program, yes. And that's what's important. You know what I mean? Now, yeah. Coach, I'm going to go somewhere else with this. Now, don't quote me on this, but I believe I saw a poll from high school OT, I think it was, and that poll had East Forsyth ranked somewhere around the 16th mark. And I personally thought that was a little disrespectful to have a two-time defending state champion East Forsyth Eagles ranked at number 16. But that's just me personally. I'm a little biased. You know how that goes. I'm not sure if you heard that or not. But regardless, what are your thoughts on that particular ranking?
I think when we're supposed to play in the fall, I think we're number 1, number 2, or 3 in most of the polls. I understand. I mean, we lost a lot of dudes. I mean, we really did. But we're ready to earn our respect and all that. I hadn't seen that post. I'm not a big bulletin board kind of guy. I think, some coaches like bulletin board material. I think that only lasts so long. So our kids, we're just ready to go. These kids want to prove. Every year we hear when Christian Beal and Madison Cone and those guys left, they said we'd never win games. Nike Martin, all those guys, you should have beat Mallard Creek. That was your time to win that state title. And then we come after that and win 2 state titles. So we're used to hearing that we're not going to be good, that we're not going to win. And you got to go out there and prove them wrong. That's why you play. And I'm excited for the challenge, and our kids are excited for the challenge. And, we do. We got a lot to prove. We lost a lot. We're going to be very young, but you're going to see a lot of good football out of this team this year.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some good football. I'm also looking forward to learning these new guys' names here and getting acquainted with them and see how hard they work and how hard they play. Can't wait to do that. We're going to take a quick ID right quick. For those of you who are just tuning in, you're listening to The Nest with head football coach Todd Willert of the 2-time defending state champion East Forsyth Fighting Eagles football team. What a saying. 2-time defending. That is awesome. That is awesome. Yes, sir. 2-time. That means 2 in a row, baby. For those of you listening and don't understand that is East Forsyth Eagles out of Kernersville, the Nest. Coach, I want to switch gears a little bit, and we're not really switch gears. We're still going to be talking about football. I want to talk a little bit about this upcoming matchup that's coming this Thursday night. You're not playing around at all. You guys are serious. And the reason that I say that is your first game right out the gate is against one of your rivalries. This is a rivalry game against the Glen Bobcats. And of course, they're led by head coach Antoine Stevenson. And that game will be played over at Glen, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it will be played at Glen High School on Thursday, February 25th. Yep. Kickoff time, 7 p.m. Is that correct?
Yep, that's it. We switched it today. Yep.
Good. So those of you who can get out there and see it, I'm not sure exactly what the attendance and how they're going to monitor the attendance and who they're letting in and who they're not letting in. But if you can come, we look forward to all the East Forsyth Eagle fans coming out and supporting the Eagles this Thursday, February 25th, 7 p.m. Now, Coach, most teams do take minutes or a couple games just to warm up and get into a nice rhythm before taking on their rivals. But no, not the East Forsyth Eagles, not head coach Todd Willert and his staff of untouchables. Coach, what made you guys put Glenn as the first team on the schedule this year?
Well, let me
What was
tell you.
going on with that?
So it was a couple of things that really tied into this. First of all, we scrimmaged Dudley the other day, so I mean it's when you I've come to realize when you
Oh,
win, a
wow.
lot of people don't want to play you, so you got to play the top programs, and that's good. We need to play the top programs. Playing Coach Davis over there at Dudley the other day was awesome for our guys. They look good. Trust me, the Dudley Panthers look really good. But Antoine and I kind of got together, and I called Antoine. I said, Coach, I can't get nobody to play us. I said, it's 7-game season. Nobody will play us. And Antoine goes, hey, let's just play each other twice. I said, well, I'm in for that. Let's make some money. We didn't figure COVID would still be going on. So we're like, hey, we'll have a home and home like the pro teams did. What a cool way for Kernersville. At the time, we thought we were going to have all of our D1 guys still kind of too, maybe, because they hadn't all. So, I mean, there probably would have been, with their guys that have left and our guys and then the underclassmen, there probably would have been 12 to 14 Division I guys on the field, if this game would have been held, which would have been nuts. In Kernersville, in the small town of Kernersville, you would have seen about 14 to 15 Division I guys. But we got together and Antoine helped me out, and what a great thing. I mean, why not play 2 great programs? Why not do it? And the tough thing is, though, is right now our fans can't go to away games. We're only going to be able to do home games as of right now. We'll have some streaming, and I think you guys are going to broadcast the game, so the Eagles will be able to listen to you and Dez. So it'll be kind of weird when we go over there. It will just be, as of right now, 100 fans. Hopefully Governor Cooper lets some more come. But I think it will always be home field advantage. I don't think visiting fans will be able to go to any of these games this year.
Okay. All right, Coach, that's good information to know because I didn't realize that. Fans, please tune in and listen to the game. We'll be live streaming it. Des and I will be broadcasting it. Yeah.
It'll be awesome. Listen to you guys.
Yes,
I'm gonna tape it to see how bad you and Des hammer me now. I'm gonna make sure I tape the stuff so I can listen to you guys say all these nice things about me on the coaches show. I want to see what you guys say about me when I'm making bad calls.
Coach, we know you don't make bad calls. That's not in your DNA, my friend. We already know that. Listen, the only thing that I think the worst thing that Des and I have said is, you know what? I don't know why that kid did that, but I can guarantee you Coach Willert is going to smack him one when he gets across the That's probably about the worst thing that we've said, Coach. Oh, man. So with you guys playing Glenn this weekend, Coach Stevenson, man, this guy, he can be very competitive. And of course, last year, in my opinion, and I'm sure that's an understatement with his competitiveness. Yeah. But, Glenn had a pretty good defense last year. They weren't bad at all. And, I know if their offense could have really caught up with their defense last year, they could have really hurt some teams out there. But how well do you actually know Coach Stevenson and his game plan, and what do you guys expect from him and his Glenn Bobcats this upcoming Thursday at 7:00?
Yeah, through the COVID thing, one of the really great things that happened is the area coaches, especially our conference coaches and the Winston-Salem coaches, really leaned on each other a lot. And me and Coach Stevenson really got together. Josh McGee, the head coach from Reagan, kind of set up a group meeting when everything was really tough and way back at the beginning of COVID. And all of us coaches really got together. And me and Coach Stevenson, I'm going to tell you now, we never talked to each other. We never talked to each other. Never talked to them before pregame. Never usually shook hands after a game. If we did, it was a quick walk by, kind of thing. But we've gotten to know each other. He's very competitive. Uh, it's just it's going to be a neat thing for us. But we know each other pretty good. Their offense, they got a majority of their offensive guys back. They got their quarterback who looked really good in the scrimmage. But then they got some other guys that are ready to stand up too. I mean, they had 3 or 4 guys leave early, and they got guys that are hungry to make their name. So it's going to be a great game. Um, and at the end of the day, win or lose, I think it's a win for Kernersville to have both of us play together the first game coming out of this COVID problem. You know what I mean? Something that
Yes, sir.
K Vegas can be proud of, and to have two kind of, at times the rivalry is pretty tough, and to us to overcome that through this COVID. And Coach Stevenson and I kind of both grow up a little bit and understand COVID, and there's more than just winning a football game. I think that's good for K Vegas, and obviously we'll want to beat each other, no doubt about it. And then we play each other the last game of the season too. So we start at the beginning and one at the end.
Good deal, Coach. Nothing wrong with
Hey,
that. You're absolutely right.
I gotta ask you a question, Rod. I gotta ask you a question.
Okay, Coach, you got it.
Okay, so I don't know if you saw, I did an interview with High School OT, right? So I guess I was on there, and I said, well, they asked me what game I wanted to win. I said, well, I want to beat West Forsyth. And I said, well, I want to beat Reagan. I want to beat Glenn twice. I want to beat Reynolds. I want to beat the. And now people are like, hey, man, you gave everybody bulletin material. I guess I didn't know in our society, am I supposed to tell everybody I want to lose? I mean, I don't get that. Did I do something wrong in that interview?
Coach, had you said anything else, I'd have been disappointed in you. That's all I can say. I mean,
some people write me, Coach, you gave them some bulletin. I said, well, hey, next time I'll say, hey, when I play West Forsyth, I hope we lose. I mean, I hope we go in there. I mean, come on, man. We want to win.
Coach,
I don't care who we're playing. If I'm
right.
playing,
we want to win every game.
Hey, if I'm playing, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, guess what? I plan on winning. I hate to say it, Tom Brady, I plan on beating you.
You're exactly right, Coach. You don't put all that time in and scouting and film watching and planning and design and taking away this and taking away that from the other team in order to go and lose a ball game. I mean, come on. Who in the world was interviewing you, Coach?
I just wanted to ask you that question.
Okay. All right. No, you said the right thing. That is for sure, Coach. That is for sure. You definitely said the right thing. Because before we wrap this thing up, man, there's a couple things I want to get into that's a little bit off of football. One of the things I want to talk to you about is some of your activities that you were involved with a little bit during the off season. Talk to us a little bit about, you did a show. It was called the North Carolina Coaches Road Show. I'm sure you remember that because it looked like you were having some fun on there. I haven't seen them all. I've only seen clips here and there. And I think you were involved with Game of Inches, but I won't give it away. Talk to us about that, what you did, the kind of fun you had, if you had fun, and all that good stuff. And talk to us a little bit about that, Coach.
Yeah, I'm sitting around home. I'm going crazy. I think my wife, Katie, wants to get me out of the house a little bit. I'm just, so I talked to Logan. I said, Logan, I got to get out of the house before my wife just kicks me out of the house, So we started talking about, hey, let's go talk to coaches. Everybody's probably bored. I said, man, let's do it. I said, let's go do this coaches show. And, Logan Carter of Game of Inches, he's the guy who put it together. I'm just kind of the front guy, and I went out and did this. And, I did, I think 6 or 7. We went around the area, and then I went down to Weddington, and we got some couple shows that we haven't put up yet. A matter of fact, he might run one. The Davie County one might be this week. We got one from Mallard Creek taped and one from Reagan still taped. So we're going to run them during this season here right now too. Some of the reruns, we did Adrian Snow and all that, but it was just something fun. And then, my mom gets to see them from Wisconsin. I got a bunch of buddies back home, AD, Billy, Donnie Vanda, Troy, a bunch of these guys get to watch me. One of my best buddies, Danny Becker, who used to play football with me, he was a 5'6" corner, and I was a 5'8" outside linebacker. They get to see other things that I can do, and I think that's cool to do it. I really enjoyed it because I learned so much about these guys. We did Mount Tabor and Ty Brown, Ty Sean. Me and him weren't really, and we've become great friends because I got to learn that there was so much more. And what we did in the show, we didn't talk a lot about football. I wanted to introduce these guys as head coaches as people and get their fan base to know Tyshawn Brown and Antoine Stevenson or Josh McGee as men and not just a head football coach. And that was the whole thing about the show. And I think it's worked great. And like I said, we're going to run some shows here in the next few weeks. So tune into that. And we're gonna do a bunch for next season too. So we're going to do another season. So I'm excited about that.
That is awesome, Coach. Well, listen, talk to us about when you were in that show. I know you said you were introducing everyone, didn't do a lot of talking about football, but what were some of the things that you were trying to find out about some of these guys, and who was the funnest interview that you did? Who did you have the most fun with?
Well, so they let me write the show, so that was kind of cool. I got to ask the questions and kind of stage stuff and ask Logan. Now Logan did all the camera work. He did drones and did all the editing, but they let me write the show and ask the questions. And I asked questions about their families, where they came from, food they liked, all these kind of things. We had a session of the 2-minute drill where I had 10 or 9 questions where I asked them something. Now, every question, every once in a while, I ask a little football question so I could get some intel on them. Like I asked, would you go for it on 4th and 1 or not? Because I wanted to get a little intel when we played, because I did coach Snow and McGee and Antoine and these. So I was doing some intel also. And then at the end, we did a coaches challenge. So the coaching challenges, that was their favorite. So my first show was against Adrian Snow, and he always wears sandals. So everybody in North Carolina coaches, they know that Adrian wears these like Birkenstock or whatever kind of those little sandals. He wears them all the time. So I told the guys, I said, I want to do a 20-yard race against Adrian. And I brought some cleats, some fresh cleats out and everything. Did it. We ran. Oh, you got to see that part, Rod. If you didn't see that, it was awesome. We did that. So then, guys had watched some shows. So then Antoine, Coach Stevenson from Glenn, he's young, he's strapping, he works out. So he thinks we're going to do some kind of, athletic challenge. Well, I did a powdered donut challenge with him. I killed him on that because I eat carbs and donuts all the time, So, but that was the fun part, man. We just got to kick it and have fun. They were all funny in their own way. I mean, they really were. I think it was great to go meet Kennedy Tinsley, the new head coach down at Mallard Creek. He was great, but obviously Adrian Snow, he's a card, and he's funny as crap. That first one was the one that got the most views because everybody likes to listen to Adrian's BS that he spouts out there. So we had a great time there.
Well, that's awesome, Coach. It sounds like it was the funnest one that you had, man. That is really cool. And I was so glad to see the clips that I saw of you doing that. And what was awesome, man, is that you were actually having a good time. You were enjoying it. And that was so good to see, because I know when you're on that sideline and even in practice and you're at home and you're, gaming and getting ready for film and doing all that you do to prepare, man, it can be stressful. And of course you love it, but sometimes it's not always fun doing that. You know what I mean? But when I saw you, the clips that I saw, you were having a ball. So it was so great to see you smiling and having a good time, man. Because sometimes, Coach, I see you on that sideline and you'll come back up like you're going into halftime and you'll look like, and I'll just say, man, I don't know if I should say hello, nothing, or just let him keep moving. And most of the time I say, Coach, keep moving. I won't even bother you, man. So it was so good on the clips that I saw to just see you having such a good time, man. That was awesome.
It was so fun. It was very therapeutic for me. It really was. And I think I was more happy that we shed some light, because sometimes that's all people get to see is Coach Willert or Coach Snow or Coach McGee or Coach Stevenson yelling at football games, and they don't understand that we're husbands and parents, and that there is a soft side to us. And that's what the show was all about, was to show that we're just not that coach yelling at your kid every day, worrying about winning.
No
So
doubt.
it was awesome. I appreciate the support, and like I said, Logan Carter from Game of Inches, he deserves all the credit because he's the one who makes the magic happen.
Good deal, Coach. Good deal. Well, Coach, we get ready to wrap this thing up, but before we do, I got to ask you this question. Pre-game meal this Thursday. If you can share with us where you're going, let us know where you're going, if you're going, and if you can't share that, at least let us know what your favorite pre-game meal is, or what you may be planning to eat before the game this week.
Well, we have sponsors. I believe One Stop might be sponsoring our food this week. I might be wrong, but like J Peppers, East Coast Wings, a lot of the local communities, they usually bring our food to us. It's awesome. I believe One Stop's feeding us this time. And like you said, if you haven't been to One Stop and got their chicken and taters, you are every coach that comes and plays at East, a lot of them will drive separate so they can stop there and eat. And that is a fact. Adrian Snow stops there on the way and when they leave too. I'm just telling you, because Adrian likes to eat. But I don't, and if you talk to them, I don't eat before games usually. My stomach's so tense and all that. I don't eat. So that's the crazy that the team moms and stuff try to force me to eat. And I'm just like, every once in a while I might eat something, but I don't eat very much.
Gotcha. Well, in that case, Coach, do you have a post-game meal that you like?
I do some post-game things. I don't know if I eat too much after the post-game, but I go out and do it. I come home.
I understand.
I come home and I sit. We used to go out before. We used to go to J Peppers and Jay Butler's after games, but now I got kids and I've gotten older. So I'll just kind of come home and flip the scores on and flip our film on if I want, and sit down and make some Doritos, have some Doritos or popcorn and a beverage, and just kind of chill for 2 or 3 hours. A lot of times, one secret is I watch NCIS reruns all the time. That's what I do for fun.
Okay, good deal. Well, listeners, you guys heard it. Coach Todd Willert, after a ball game, he may get a little Doritos, a little pop, and snack on something, but he will not eat before a game. That is his ritual for everybody listening. Coach Todd Willert, that's going to do it for our time here on The Nest. I want to thank you so much for being here, taking the time out and being with us virtually. You have been wonderful, like you always are. And I want to say good luck to you and the East Forsyth Fighting Eagles this coming Thursday as you go over and visit the Glen Bobcats in their stadium. And we look forward to seeing everyone here on another edition of The Nest next week. That will be next Tuesday. And we could possibly be live somewhere next Tuesday. We haven't figured that out yet, but hopefully we will. Then, we'll get that out and let folks know. And that does it for another edition of The Nest with head football coach Todd Willert of the East Forsyth Fighting Eagles. And I'm your host, Rod Funderburk. I want to thank everyone for listening and tuning in. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful winter football season.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles, baby.